Thank you for joining us. You've seen how stories from the past, from both books and comics, can inspire us with courage and creativity. Here on the Full Moon Talk series, we carry that spirit forward into the world of ideas. The Full Moon Talk series 2025 has been created to highlight the Full Moon platform. The Full Moon platform was initially created to address the student suicide crisis in India. It has since grown into a full-fledged games hub with happiness practices paired with games. These happiness practices are designed to cultivate resilience, optimism, and gratitude. This talk series has been developed in association with the Esperanto and Conlang Society of South India. Some of the sentences spoken in the introduction and conclusion are in Esperanto, but no knowledge of Esperanto is needed since we always translate all sentences into English. In fact, my knowledge of Esperanto is not very high, so I've often been reading from a script. Today, we are grateful to have you with us as we explore new perspectives together. Today's talk continues Full Moon's journey, full of insight and thought. So, let's begin. Hello, saluton, and namaskar, everyone. We're back again on the Full Moon Talk series for a conversation with another very interesting guest. Hodiaŭ ni havos exitan konversacion kun nia gasto. Today, we will have an exciting conversation with our guest, who is Mr. Dave Sheahan. Ili alportos al ni perspektivojn kaj spertojn kiuj provokos nian pensadon. He or they will bring us perspectives and experiences that will spark our thinking. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Mr. Dave Sheahan with his bio. Dave Sheahan is a high-performance coach, speaker, and author dedicated to helping individuals, athletes, entrepreneurs, and organizations unlock their full potential. Through his company, Dave Sheahan High Performance, he focuses on empowering clients to regain control over their mind, body, and health, what he calls the foundation for success in all other areas of life, including relationships, career, and wealth. With thousands of successful clients worldwide, Dave emphasizes not only fast results, but ensuring they're lasting by fostering balanced and sustainable lifestyles. So without further ado, the mic is over to you, Dave. The floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Anand, and it's an honor and privilege to be on the talk series. So thanks for having me. And for those of you who are listening, I hope you enjoy everything that I share. And one thing I always stress is that knowledge is not power, it's the implementation of knowledge that's power. So throughout this short presentation, I expect there may be a couple of nuggets that you get that will apply to your own personal life and situation. And what's important is that you put those nuggets then into action after the call. So remember, knowledge is not power, it's the implementation of knowledge that's power. And the other thing I want to point out is in life, it's about being committed to evolving into a better version of yourself. And you get this opportunity every precious day to be committed to growth, be committed to evolving. And like I said, better, not best. There is no best. We can all keep getting better and better. So be committed to that. And as I said, I hope you enjoy what I share. And we're speaking in this brief presentation about how your mind is a control tower. It literally controls everything. Your thoughts become things. So what you're thinking is really important. So how you master your own psychology and your mindset, how you develop mental resilience, it's going to be really important in how you navigate life and in how much success you experience in life, in all areas of life, whether it be studies, career, professional life, whether it be finances, whether it be your health, whether it be your relationships. So it's all down against your mindset. And as you can see here, like in the image, the brain doing the weights exercise, it's a funny little image, but it's exactly what you need to be committed to doing. Work your mind every single day, okay? So secrets of mind, mental resilience. I'm going to start in this image. So we all, if you've flown on a plane, which I assume most people have, or you're at least aware of this implement on a plane. So it's the oxygen mask. And before every flight, the air attendants always do a little presentation for 1 or 2 minutes, and this is included. And it's all about POEM, which stands for put on your own oxygen mask first. Now, why I'm starting with this slide is, for far too many people, this doesn't happen in any aspect or area of their life. When everything that is determined by to what level you POEM, you need to put yourself first. And that's not being selfish. That will serve others, because the better you are, the better condition you're in physically, emotionally, mentally, in every shape and form, the more you love yourself, the more control you are of yourself and your mind and mental resilience, the better able and capable you are then of serving others, the better capable and able you are to benefit the lives of those you love, whether it be partners, kids, family members, clients, whoever it may be. And also those around you who experience you and engage with you on a daily basis will be further enriched by the more enriched you feel inside. So it's very important you work inside. We focus so much on the external when it's actually the internal that matters most. This is why I'm saying about put on your own oxygen mask first. And this is very much an important theme of this presentation and of what I do with people every single day. I'm 30 years working with thousands of clients all over the world and people in general. And it's what my life is committed to doing. Because if you don't work on yourself, then it's going to be very hard for you to achieve what you want in life and experience life as wonderful as it can be. And like I said, I'm 30 years doing this. I'm 30 years working on myself, evolving into a better version of myself, and learning over time the increasing importance of POEM. Okay? So adopt that kind of principle and think of this image. Think of on a plane, the oxygen mask. Because if you start taking care of others on a plane when there's trouble, you're probably going to pass out from lack of oxygen within 30 seconds. Then you're no good to anybody. You put on your own oxygen mask, you might save 5 lives that day, as well as your own. And again, that applies to every aspect of life then as well. And why do we need to have daily routines and habits? Because again, this is something that people don't have. A lot of time people are aimlessly going through life. They're literally just going through life, no set plan, no set organization, not improving on themselves, not progressing and evolving themselves, not progressing, evolving in careers, studies, relationships, finances, kind of staying at the same point for years and years and even decades and decades. And it's very sad because the reality is it can be so different. But you have to embed routines and habits. And a big part of that will be working on your mind. Go back to the first slide and the essence of this. Your mind is the control tower. So you need to have routines and habits that serve your mind to make it stronger, just as much as serving your body and serving every aspect of your life. I'm very big on productivity because we all get the same amount of time. And there's a lot of talk always about time management. It's not about time management. It's about self-management. Time management is a myth because we all have 24 hours in a day. We all have 168 hours in a week. But what are you actually doing with that time? That's the key question to ask yourself. What am I doing with it? And if I look at my day, is it serving to progress my life and improve and develop me as a person and move me closer to my goals and strengthen my mind and my body? Or does it keep me where I am? And for far too many people, it's literally keeping them where they are. And there's elements of it which I'll touch on later in terms of even fear of progress, fear of taking inverted commas risks and stuff like that, which I'll speak of in a little bit. But all these things have a factor. But we need to have routines and habits. Things like, you have your work or your studies, you have the importance of exercise, good nutrition, quality sleep, working on your mind, which again I'll touch on a bit deeper in a little while. All these things need to be set routines, like having a morning routine, having an evening routine. When I wake up in the morning, I POEM, put on my own oxygen mask first. I do things that serve me. I feed my mind, feed my body, I rehydrate. In the evening time, I'm doing the opposite. I don't want to stimulate, I want to wind myself down. So I'm journaling, I'm doing breathing exercises, I'm meditating. I'm thinking about wins and gratitudes from the day. So I'm making myself feel good, feel at peace, winding myself down, lower heart rates, things like that. So I get good quality sleep. And in the middle, then it's about being on and being focused. But it's about, you have to prioritize. You have to prioritize what actually is the most important things that I need to do today and block them in. That's really important. Now, in terms of all the different areas, in terms of POEM thing, routines, things that will serve you for mental resilience. And you might be thinking, how do these things apply to mental resilience? Because people always think very linearly, like it'll be just the mind, but everything's interconnected. It's like your physical well-being. Your mind and body are totally interconnected. So it's very important that you work your body, that then will improve your mind. Just like you improve your mind, it'll improve your ability to work your body. Because if, for instance, you're on an exercise routine and you're great, but mentally you're not strengthening, if you're having a bad day, you probably won't exercise. And same the other way around. So if you're having a bad day, if you exercise, it will help you to have a little bit better day, even if it's only 5%. So we need to work on our physical well-being all the time because, again, they're all interconnected. And when it comes to your mind, there's no better medicine for your mind than exercise. So if you're having a bad day, exercise, it's guaranteed to make you feel better. 100%. I don't mean you'll feel amazing, but you'll feel better, even if it's 5-10%. So use exercise. You could be studying and feel like you're getting nowhere and hitting a brick wall and sitting there for hours doing nothing. Stop it. Get up, do some exercise. You'll come back and you will do so much more because you've recharged your brain. You need a pattern interrupt. And the stronger your body is, the stronger your heart is, the more muscle tone, all these different areas. The stronger your body is, the stronger your mind is. The two are always interconnected because you won't strengthen your body in all the physical health aspects unless your mind is strengthening at the same time. Because you won't have the discipline. You won't have the discipline to go to the gym when you don't feel like going to the gym, or going for a run, or doing your stretching, or eating the right foods, or going to bed at the right time. When you have the discipline around all of those things from around physical health and well-being, your mental strength is building as well. Your mental health and well-being. Two are improving at the same level, or they're staying at the same level. You don't have someone who never exercises who has a really strong mindset. The reason not exercise is because of a bad mindset. Whereas if it's the other way around, the two are totally interconnected. So I hope that makes sense. Mental well-being is so important. You got physical, emotional, and mental will be the three main well-beings we need to focus on all the time. And you need to work on your mental well-being, which I'll speak of more and more depth in the next slide. But it's something you need to constantly be working on. Then you got restoration and optimization. We focus a lot on the doing all the time. Working, training, all this type of stuff. Do. But it's actually in the restoration phase of your day where the body actually recharges, regenerates, and gets better. That's why sleep is a necessity. We need to sleep. That's why we have to focus on having good sleep. Because that's when the magic happens. Like even take from exercise. You can exercise all you want, even eat well. If your sleep's not good, you're not getting the results. They'll be minimal. Where if you get good sleep and the body gets the chance to restore, regenerate cells, repair muscle, you'll get the results. So we need to do that. Plus, think of when you're go all the time, even though you're doing stuff, you're not productive. You can't be. The brain gets tired. It's a muscle like anything else. You need to time out. I always speak to people who be on for 5 or 6 days of the week, be off, no rules, 1 or 2 days of the week, because you have to have that recharge. It's like for me, I'm Monday 6 a.m. until Friday about 4 p.m., full throttle, 100 miles per hour, boom, 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 boom. All the stuff I need to do for the aspects of my life when I'm on. But from Friday at 4 till typically Monday at 6 o'clock, it's my off phase. I'm doing things I enjoy, escapism, things that feed my soul. I don't have rules around exercise and food. They're a little bit more relaxed. You're giving yourself that breathing space. You're giving yourself that break. You're restoring, regenerating. I move my body a lot during the week. The weekend, I move it much less. It needs to regenerate. So it is ready to move for those 5 days. Same as your brain. You can't be pushing your brain every day of the week. 5, 6 days, push it. 1, 2 days, then let it recharge. Stress management, very massive. No one escapes stress. And there's good and bad stress. It's not just, we only think of stress as bad. Things could be going amazing, but that still puts pressure on you in terms of how much you need to do in your day, because you need to fit a lot in, even when great things are happening. So learning to manage your stress levels is really key, but that's very much connected to your mental well-being and how you manage your emotional state. So you need to learn to manage stress. And like I said, both good and bad stress, because stress creates cortisol. And if we don't have control of our stress levels, we will release way too much cortisol. And if we release too much cortisol, it has a huge impact on our hormone levels, chemical balance within us, our fat levels, how our body works, our brain works, and everything. So like our bodies are amazing machines, but they're incredibly complicated and there's so many little bits and pieces going on at the same time. So we have to always focus on what we control, and we can control our stress levels, but it takes work. And again, it's all very interconnected to your mind. If you have a strong mindset and good resilience, you will deal with stress very different to someone who has a very weak, negative mindset. Stress will destroy them and put them in a very negative frame of mind. So this is why, again, mental strength, mental resilience, seeing your mind as a control tower will have a huge impact in every area of your life. Now, the key question to always ask is, what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your mind? And in two ways. Nutritionally, 20% of the calories you consume go to your brain. 20%. Like your brain's only 1/50th of the weight of your body and the average body. Yet it consumes 20% of the calories that you consume. Now, if you're living off McDonald's versus living off proper whole foods, home cooked meals, your brain's going to work very differently. Also, hydration levels. Most people are chronically dehydrated because most people don't drink much water. Your body's 75% water, your brain's 83% water. But what's key is your brain has no ability to retain water. So you're either hydrated or you're not. Now, that's the exciting thing because most people are chronically dehydrated, which means whatever level of brain function you have right now, I would put money on you are not even close to your potential of brain function. That's the exciting thing. So if you increase your water intake, your brain will work much better. Focus, memory, concentration, mood, everything. Because remember, your brain controls your mood as well. A lot of times when people are going around a bit of a brain fog and cloudy and not feeling great, their mood's affected. It could be dehydration, could be a big part of that. The other most important parts, you got feeding in terms of actual food and calories, you got hydrating and liquids. And then all the bad liquids like energy drinks, too much coffee, alcohol, they have a negative impact on your brain. But then you got what you feed your mind in terms of what you watch, read, and listen. This is what's really key on a daily basis. And in terms, again, your mind being the control tower. You need to be very mindful and conscious of what am I watching, reading, and listening to. Even if you listen to certain music and you might like the beat, the melody, the lyrics is what your brain's taking in. So might like the beat, but the lyrics could be very negative. Same as what you're watching. Like people watch reality TV, soap operas, the news. What's predominantly negative? So you're consuming negative energy, negative emotions, giving you negative emotions, watching it. It's like the news. When did you last see a positive news story? Like it does not happen. Like one of the best things anyone can do, stop watching the news. I think I stopped watching the news, it must be nearly 25, 30 years ago. One of the best things you can do for your health, your mental health in particular, because you're wiping out a massive source of negativity. Be very conscious of what you watch, read, and listen to. Same as the newspaper, same as the radio. Be conscious again of what you're listening to. Listen to music that feeds your soul, that uplifts you. If I ever feel a little low or I need an uplift, I listen to certain types of music that does genuinely uplift my soul. I feel my soul lifting. I watch and I read things that educate me, that stimulate me, that motivate me, that inspire me. I love documentaries. I love autobiographies. I love inspiring movies, true life stories, things like that will actually inspire and motivate me. So be very conscious of that. And I always stress in the morning, as part of your morning routine, stimulate your mind. So watch, read, or listen to something that's motivating or inspirational for a few minutes. Move your body. So again, get the endorphins going, get that feel good. Like I said, exercise, you have to feel good after exercise, and rehydrate. Just drink even a glass of water if you're not used to drinking water. Just do those three things, you'll feel better immediately in the morning, and it's a positive start to your day. That's really important to do. The other thing that's really key, and the biggest thing for all of us, is the people in our lives. Who are we listening to? Who are we exposing ourselves to? Who are we surrounding ourselves with? Like you are the sum of the 5 people who you surround yourself with most. If you're around people who are mainly negative, you'll be mainly negative. If you're around people who are mainly people not doing anything with their lives and not progressing, you won't either. If you're around people who are mainly unhealthy, overweight, never exercise, drinking, smoking, all that all the time, you are going to be like that as well. It's an inevitability. That's why we have to be very careful about who we surround ourselves in. And I always stress to people, regularly audit your circle. What I mean by that is look at who's in your circle. And simple question, do they add to my life or do they take from my life, energetically and emotionally? If someone adds to your life, where if I was to say, okay, you're going to meet them in an hour, you think, yes, I can't wait to meet him. You feel yourself uplifted before you even meet him. That's a good first time in your life. If it's the opposite, you're, oh, let's go meet them. And you're kind of trying to think of a way out of it. And you're thinking of anything else you could do. When you finish that meeting with that person, you're going to feel way less than you did going into the meeting with them. And that can be friends or family. This is the hardest part because we do have to be conscious of friends and family because sometimes we can be too attached to them. But sometimes we need to eliminate friends or family, sometimes permanently, sometimes for a period of time. So I always say either eliminate, identify first are they adding or taking. And if they're adding, great. But if they're taking, eliminate them, short term or long term, or limit exposure. With family, especially, it's about limiting exposure more often than not. So take yourself out of situations where you're going to be in their company. Okay? Don't be in their company all the time. That's really important. Now, in a work environment, study environments, things like that, you're typically around certain people, and that's just how it is. They're your environment. Then it comes back to the internal work. Work in you, that's what you can control. Work in your reaction to them. Work in how they make you feel. Stop letting them have such a control over you because you can't change them. They are who they are. So in situations like that where you have to be around certain people, work on you. Work on you all the time anyway. You'd be very conscious of the need to when you're around certain people inevitably. But around the people that you can control, audit that circle on a regular basis. So again, be conscious of what you feed your mind, in terms of what you watch, read, and listen to, and be very conscious of people around you. It's so massive in terms of building that resilience. Now, this is really important. And for the vast majority of people in the world, fear is what controls them. And fear, literally, there's many acronyms for it, but one is false evidence appearing real. So we don't do things in our life because we're afraid of where it may end up. So we don't cross that line because of the perceived, inverted commas, risk. But here's what I always say. If you're looking to step across the line, let's say, into something else, and you're feeling fearful, ask yourself this. Why am I even looking across the line? Usually you're looking across the line because you're not happy where you are. You're not fulfilled where you are. You want more out of life. You want more fulfillment. You want more happiness. You want to grow, develop, things like this. So you're trying to step across the line for that reason. If you don't step across that line, you stay where you are. Isn't that the risk? Aren't you actually risking wasting your life? Because you clearly aren't fulfilled where you are. You step across the line, maybe it'll work. But if you stay where you are, you're definitely staying unfulfilled, unhappy, unsuccessful. So the risk is actually staying where you are, not stepping across the line. But if you step across the line, you can always come back again. You can always reverse, or you can go a different direction. There's actually nothing to be afraid of in stepping across the line. You should be afraid of staying where you are. I always say the only fear to have in life is regret. It's the only fear to have. People fear public speaking, they fear death. Regret is the worst one. Because when you get to the end of your days and you're reflecting back, you can't change anything. The past is done. So fear, regret. Just step across the line and ask yourself the question, what's the worst that can happen? And what's the worst that can actually happen? The only thing that can happen is you go backwards. You can always go back to where you were. That's always there. So don't be afraid of it. Again, see it again as false evidence appearing real, because that's exactly what it is. Now, this is very much connected to the previous slide where I said about what you feed your mind. If you're consuming negativity all the time, you're always hearing the worst about the world, all the bad things that are happening. You're always hearing that you shouldn't take risks, that running a business is really hard, it's challenging. Most businesses fail, all this type of stuff. If you're always hearing risk is not to be done, and you're surrounding yourself with people who are all negative, you're going to find it very hard to step across that line. This is why, again, go back to the previous slide in terms of feeding your mind. You cancel what you're feeding your mind. You cancel who's in your circle because they will decide if you feel fear or not. Those who are successful and make something of their life and have happiness, they're surrounded with the right kind of people. They feed their mind with positivity. They see the world for the good that's in it, not the bad that's in it. And they see crossing the line as opportunity, potential, and possibility. They don't feel fear. It's like in everything if I decide I'm doing something, I'm focused on the potential and the possibility. I'm not thinking about, oh, what if it doesn't work out? It doesn't work out, didn't work out. I will have learned lessons. There's lessons in every journey. So there's zero reason to feel fear. So don't be consumed by fear. Remember, fear is false evidence appearing real, and usually it's part of conditioning you've had because of what you're consuming. So if you change this, you automatically change this. Okay? So, as I said at the very start, knowledge is not power. The implementation of knowledge is power. So, along this short presentation will have been a couple of nuggets I expect. When you finish this, go take action. Identify 1 or 2 steps you're going to do from now on and go and do them. And remember, you have unlimited potential in life. You can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. You can have whatever you want. You literally are holding the pen, writing your script. Do you want your script to be one you look back on with regret? Or do you want to have a script that you look back on with a big smile on your face, pride in what you've accomplished, and filled with happiness and joy? The choice is yours. So I hope this presentation has helped you in some way. And Nand, I hope all is good with what I shared there.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. Thanks for a fabulous presentation. Again, brilliant points made. I really appreciate you coming on the show, especially because we are doing this to give students tools and techniques to improve their own mental wellness. And audience, we recorded a couple of videos with Dave before this talk, where he gave us his thoughts on his thoughts related to a couple of questions, a few questions that I posed to him. And so now it's time, my painful duty really, to close this scintillating presentation and our engagement with Mr. Dave Sheahan. So I have again a couple of sentences in Esperanto. Ni esperas ki ci tiu conversatio inspiros vin plu esplori kai demandi. We hope that this conversation will inspire you to explore and inquire further. Gis la revido en la sequa Fulmo Talk series. See you next time at the Fulmo Talk series. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you got a little something out of this talk, and see you all again next time. Gis la revido.